What's going on YouTube? What's going on Facebook? I appreciate you guys for being here. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America, and God bless the world. I have a few things I want to talk about. First, I'm going to briefly address my smear piece from NPR and also the fallout of that. I've seen some interesting characters, defending me, and I appreciate it. People like Naomi Wolf, David Knight, others. I've also seen people who are trying to get me banned from Facebook, including, of course, NPR. Chelsea Clinton shared the article under her smear of Tucker Carlson. Pretty interesting. And also some lady from Snopes who once again lied about me. I'm going to answer that and just kind of debunk her myth there. I'm not surprised that she doesn't work for Snopes anymore. But in general, I'm going to talk about that. Then I want to talk about the Jim Jordan speech, because Jim Jordan, had a speech in Congress with Fauci, and a lot of people were impressed. And I have to say, I'm a tough critic, but it was definitely better than most politicians. But I think there's something missing in the argument of Republicans. And I'll just say it real quick before we start so people don't have to wait, where everybody's giving the moral high ground, like saying, oh, I just want the Constitution. Yeah, I get you're doing it for public health. And he's like, I want the Constitution. I totally agree, but don't give the moral high ground to Fauci. They're not saving a bunch of people when the data is clearly showing that obese people are most hospitalizations. Obese countries are the most deaths. So when they're taking away gyms, when they're taking away parks, when they're taking away health facilities, when they're taking away sports, which are things that keep people fit and in shape, and then you correlate the data to how many people are obese, they're not helping us. They're hurting us. They're hurting us mentally, physically, and psychologically. And that right there was probably, I'm not trying to brag, but better than Jim Jordan's whole speech, because they always give Fauci the moral high ground. They always concede to all this stuff, and that's why we lose. And he looked like an idiot with a mask on, but that's another story. Third thing I want to talk about is the CNN piece about equity. They're pretty much admitting, I don't know, am I allowed to report this? Let's ask Miles from NPR. Can I say this? Because I'm just reading CNN. That's what the whole hit piece on me was. Anomaly shared a CNN link and it got more shares than CNN. So we're furious. It's like, we get it, dude. I'm sorry. Let me tone down my success to make you feel better with your eyes closed picture. But CNN, the pandemic has given us a trial run. Experts say that the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us hard lessons that countries can use to tackle another major global crisis, climate change. Right in the headline, it says, in the end, everything's about equity. Everything's about equity. I thought everything was about public health and safety measures. But it's like, on one hand, they're so two-faced. They admit exactly what they're doing. They say it's not even a theory. It's like a fact. And then you repeat the fact that they themselves say, and they freak out at you. These people are such idiots, but whatever. I'm used to it by now. That's the story of the day. We're going to get into it. Thank you guys for supporting me. It's been a very, I guess, I'm used to this now after 600 million views, and just, I'm always cranking out content with other people. They do one video a year. They do like one big thing every couple of years. For me, I'm always working. I'm always grinding. So every week kind of, I'm not going to say seems the same, but I'm just focused. And I have to say this week was a standout for sure because of the OC board meeting. I got a lot of great feedback from that. So I just want to say before I start, thank you everybody who's been, new people supporting me because of that. I took action and I had a minute to speak. And I want to let people know it's a good thing I had a minute, because the reason they kept it so short is because there were hundreds of people there. So we really made our message clear, which was fantastic. So thank you to everybody supporting there. And then, of course, the NPR smear piece, which, even Chelsea Clinton is trying to get me canceled on Facebook. She called me a known conspiracy theorist. And I was like, let's not get started with that bag of tricks. But anyway, that's what it is, folks. Before I start, everybody who ordered from dreamrare.com, I have the hats, I have the beanies, the God bless, and all that such. You should get a tracking message pretty soon. We're shipping it out, and everything's been great. So if you want to support hats and beanies and shirts, this is a good way where you get something in return. I have Patreon, whatever. I'm fine though. I don't care. They could take my money, demonetize me. I think they said for a week. It says I guess they're giving it back in a week. I'm not really sure though, because if you watch my piece on NPR, it's like they're monitoring me. Okay, I'm number one for a Johnson & Johnson post or whatever. So now it's like NPR's trying to smear me. Chelsea Clinton's trying to smear me. Facebook is like reaching out to NPR. It's like they all got binoculars on me. So I don't know, I'm sure I'll get my monetization back in a week, but it seems like they don't want me to, be as prominent as I am. So we'll see what happens. But overall, embarrassing, probably the worst. I've read some pretty bad news articles. Probably the worst article I've ever read. It was seriously so stupid and so bad. And on that note, someone shared it. Her name is Brooke Binkowski. I guess she used to work for Snopes. It's like the blue check mark came out after me. And she works for Truth or Fiction now. She shared the article that smeared me, and she said not organic spread. So if you guys don't know, like, terms in internet, organic means advertisements. So like PragerU, they're not always organic. They spend a lot of ad money on, YouTube and such. And I'm not smearing them. I'm just saying, like, I see a lot of, or I used to, I don't know if they're banned now. I used to see a lot of like PragerU advertisements because that means it's not organic. Organic is like, real reach, and then advertisements is considered non-organic. It's like internet terminology. All of mine is 100% organic. I don't pay for advertisements. I haven't in probably since like 2016 on like music or something. So, she's literally lying about me and saying like, how is this lady working for Snow? She says not organic spread. I'm like, it was organically spread. I didn't pay for a single dollar of advertisements. I just have a huge audience that's, so it's like these people are so ridiculous. I'm not even that mad though, because nobody even cares. Like these people are so unpopular that, it doesn't even bother me because nobody likes them. And I put out a video and it gets way more shares, way more reach. I'm just publicly humiliating them, not because I want to, because they try me. And it's like, all they do is lie. That CNN article saying it's not organic. It's like, I'm not going to look at legal options because these people are so irrelevant that it doesn't even really bother me. But, if they continue to escalate in my direction with lies and defamation and just complete fabrications that are so provably false, it's not even funny. We'll see what happens. But right now I'm having a good week. It doesn't bother me. And, let these losers lie. They lie about everything all the time. I'm going to quote, I think it was whatever I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he said, they're lying. I know they're lying. We know they're lying. They know they're lying. They know that we know they're lying. And they keep lying. I think it was Alexander Solvetskin. I'm so bad with like Russian names, but whatever. If that's the life they want to live, I'm gonna pray for them, because at the end of this journey, they're gonna have to answer to someone higher than me, and so am I. So I'm worried about myself, and they should be too, considering how wicked they are. I feel bad when I make little mistakes. I don't do anything crazy bad, but when you do something wrong, you feel bad. It's like these people are living such a wicked life. They must feel terrible. That must be why he can't open his eyes in his own profile picture. So it's like, they got you guys afraid of doing the right thing. And I want to say this before I move on to the real story. Don't be afraid of doing the right thing. If anything, be afraid of doing the wrong thing. I think that's what's wrong with society, is everybody's afraid to do the right thing. Like when I do something that's like honorable, people hit me up and they're like, aren't you afraid? Aren't you? I'm like, when I'm the most scared is when I mess up. It's when I make mistakes and when I do something that I know is wrong. I'm not scared when I do the right thing. So they have you afraid to do the right thing and feeling way too comfortable doing the wrong thing. So I think we could benefit as a society if we could flip that narrative in our heads and, be more afraid of doing the wrong thing than we are the right thing. That's why we're losing, is because honorable people and courageous people, aren't doing anything. I just noticed I got stars back on Facebook. So I don't know. I guess I'm getting money on Facebook again. I got to check in the back end. This NPR thing might have been good because they talked about me and I aired them out. I aired Facebook out. I showed receipts. You censored me for a lie. Maybe they turned it back on. I don't know. Maybe I don't think I'm that scary, and I don't think they're scared of me, but wow, that's amazing to see. I got monetization on Facebook again. I'll have to check the back end after this video, but maybe my video got through to them. I don't know. Pretty incredible. And really, before I move on, I just want to say a prayer. I'm very grateful, regardless of what happens from this point on. They could try to take everything from me, but I was able to beat Fox News, ABC, CNN. They're mad at me because I had the #1 most shared link about Johnson & Johnson. Even though I posted a CNN article, knowing that they would try to stop me if I posted something else, I just showed them their own article. That's why they're mad at me. And that's really a blessing. I can't really be that upset. It's like I'm independent, no manager, no label, no backing. I don't work for TPUSA, Prager, nobody. I'm all Patreon, all Facebook, all Instagram, self-made. I don't even have a manager yet. I just got a guy to help me with merch. I've been literally, without obviously your help, you guys make it possible, or else I'd just be sitting in my room with nothing. But in general, it's like, that's why they're mad, is because I'm not sold out. I'm not bribable. I'm not, I do. And they're just furious that I rose to the ranks above them. So it's really pretty funny. I'm like, man, it's embarrassing. You guys got millions of dollars, billions of dollars, tens of thousands of staff members. You guys have all sorts of money in advertisement. And I'm just sitting here in my room crushing you, and you're crying about it with profile pictures where your eyes are closed. Eyes are the windows to the soul. That's what they say. Your eyes are your window to your soul. So what does that say if somebody is such a wicked person that they don't even want to show their eyes in a profile picture? We all make mistakes when we're taking pictures of our friends and you get the one with your eyes closed. You just take another one with your eyes open. who uploads pictures of them with their eyes closed and with the like he's got like this weird like it's like, dude, I get it. You're hurting inside. I feel bad for you. I'm not even being mean or sarcastic. I feel terrible for this guy. He's hurting. His soul hurts. Mentally, he's probably really struggling because when you do something that wrong all the time, it's going to weigh on you. So I feel bad. And, hopefully one day he clears his soul up where he'll feel comfortable putting a profile picture with his eyes in it, or at least some sunglasses to look cool if you're going to cover your eyes. But the no eyes, like weirdo look, it's, whatever makes you feel good at night. But I slept like a baby last night, even though I had Chelsea Clinton, trying to get me censored on Facebook. I don't even care. Thank you guys for super chats. I'll read them after. I'm blown away that I'm monetized on Facebook. They told me I was banned for a week or whatever, or censored for a week. Maybe my video got through to them. Pretty nuts. Anyway, second thing I want to talk about, and I don't want to seem like a negative Nancy, because I'm really not. I'm a pretty positive guy. But, everybody was sharing this Jim Jordan speech where, I don't know if you guys saw it. Most of you probably have. Jim Jordan and Fauci arguing with each other about the First Amendment and public health. First thing that stood out to me was like they both look like babies. Like I feel like I'm watching a stupid sci-fi like Netflix documentary that I don't even want to watch, except it's my life, so I can't leave. It's like Fauci's got this goofy like baby diaper on his face with like little beakers on it, and then whatever his name is, Jim Jordan has like a medical mask on, and he goes, they just look so stupid to me. I'm just like laughing just at how dumb they look. But anyway, it's like you got Jim Jordan basically making the argument. And a valid point from Jim Jordan, he said, when does this end? And that's a good question. What's the metrics? And Fauci doesn't really know. He's like, well, when they get lower. To what number? What date? What are, how many vaccinations? If you're all about vaccinations, what's the metric you're going by when you'll feel comfortable letting people back? And Fauci literally has no answer. But here's where, and I agree with that, question. Here's where I feel like Jim Jordan's getting it wrong. DeSantis is getting it wrong, although DeSantis is doing a better job. Every Republican's getting it wrong. And I'm not trying to say this to act like a hipster, like, oh, I only listen to underground rap and you like, Nelly or something. Like, I'm not trying to be that person. I'm just being honest. It's never going to work because they're not getting to the root of the issue. And in general, they're giving Fauci the moral high ground. When Jim Jordan goes and talks to Fauci for 5 minutes and says, I care about the Constitution, nothing wrong with that. So do I. I think it's disgusting what they're doing. But he's making it, I care about the Constitution, and Fauci says, I care about public health. So he's making Fauci look more compassionate. You just care about selfish things, and I care about the people. And Jim Jordan kept conceding that to Fauci. He wasn't debating him on public health. He's like, no, I agree with you. 600,000 people died. It's so terrible. You're right. But what about our freedom? Don't concede to these people. Here's a winning narrative. This is why I blocked Jim Jordan on Twitter. He's acting like he's fighting big tech, putting on a show while he's taking money from Google. It's like, I'm so tired of these people. Even though Jim Jordan's a likable guy, to me, he's just like an actor with a diaper on his face. But whatever. Maybe he means well. I've never met him. He seems like a nice guy. We'd get along. Anyway, he'd probably beat the crap out of me too. He's like a wrestling coach. I'm sorry, Jim Jordan. Please don't hurt me. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I'm pretty tall. But anyway, sorry. I'm like, it's like me being in the woods with a bear. I'm just going through these scenarios in my head. Anyway, don't concede the moral high ground to Fauci because they're trying to brainwash people into thinking that this is really healthy, and it's not. First of all, most of the cases, they need to drill this point down. Most of the cases of hospitalizations were obese people. If you look at the data, most of the deaths were in obesity high countries. This is not a coincidence. It's like most of the deaths being elderly. This is not some sort of crazy thing that we can't figure out scientifically. When you're elderly and you get pneumonia, you're more likely to die if you're 15 and you get pneumonia. This is true with most, respiratory diseases or viruses that we know. That's just how it goes. I'm not saying it's good if I don't want, people's grandmas to die from the pneumonia, and I don't want people's grandmas to die from COVID. And I certainly don't want people's grandmas to die from social isolation and from being treated like crap for a year under the pandemic. I'm not saying it's okay, but you have to understand that there's a reason that obese and elderly people are most of the deaths. It's because that's true for almost every virus and disease. And here's what they're not telling you. If most of the hospitalizations are obese people and most of the deaths are coming from obese countries, and what they're doing is closing down gyms, closing down health facilities, closing down social interaction, closing down events, closing down sports. What happens when you close down everything that makes people fit and lean? You make people fatter. So on one hand, they're making people fatter and less unhealthy and more depressed and more mentally ill and more struggling physically and mentally. And then They're saying, well, most of the people dying are obese. They're killing people. So you don't give the moral high ground to Fauci and say, I care about the Constitution. You care about public health. And that's a problem with a diaper on your face, dirty diaper Jordan, just fitting in. I would never do that. But, I probably would get kicked out of Congress, whatever. In general, this is why we lose, because we don't have people who are doing anything. It's like all just this big Roman circus to make you feel like they're accomplishing something, but they're making Fauci look like this compassionate health wizard. You say, no, I care about the First Amendment. I care about the Constitution. I also care about public health. I care about grandmas. I care about kids. And you're physically abusing them by isolating them and forcing them to wear masks. Kids are playing on the playground. I've seen masks that are so moist and so dirty. It was a white mask that was brown and black from all of the dirt and filth from them playing in the mud, and their teachers are forcing them to put that same mask back on their face because they don't give a crap about your health. They're just doing what they're forced to do, like zombies. I know it's bad, but I'll just have to do it because I don't want to get fired or I don't want my kid to get kicked out of school. So let's put this dirty, disgusting, damp mask back on his face because I don't have an extra one. That's not sanitary. That's not healthy. That's abusive. That's physically abusive. Anytime I put a mask on an airplane, my ears hurt. Okay, it's physically damaging my ears. You're hurting my body. You're hurting me physically. You're hurting me mentally. You're hurting people psychologically. You can't see their smiles. Waitresses are being treated like animals. So this is a winning argument, going to Fauci and saying, not only do I care about the Constitution, I also care about health more than you. And liberals will listen to that and it'll get through to some. Maybe not all of them, but what they're doing is putting a Roman circus on for you, where Fauci is the guy who cares about your health and Jim Jordan's the selfish diaper face who only cares about the Constitution. I'm not saying that a lot of conservatives don't agree with Jim Jordan. I do to some extent, but it's just not a good argument. And this is why we lose. And I want to take it to Florida to point out who I'm not afraid to say is, I think, one of the best governors in the country, Ron DeSantis. But he's, telling people, vaccine, I'm getting vaccinated. And if you want to get the vaccine, that's fine. But when I walk around the town and I see no mask, it's not a theory that I'm being treated like a second-class citizen. I already am being treated like a second-class citizen because I don't want to wear a mask. That's my right. And I guess technically, because of these BS rules, they have the right to not allow me in a store, or I could fight it in court. I just don't feel like doing that. So I don't give them my business. Why am I going to give money to somebody who doesn't even want me in their store? But in general, I'm already a second-class citizen, and everywhere I go, no mask. And it's even, I know people want to say Texas and Florida. I've been to Florida. I've been to Texas. Some areas, yes. Some areas, no. Just like California, red or blue. But if you go to the blue areas like Orlando or Dallas, it's the same as being in California because the corporations and the businesses run the show. But the point I'm getting is the no mask signs are probably already going to be replaced with a no vax sign. So it's like the more people who submit to the mask thing, it doesn't end the pandemic. I wish it would. I wish we could wear masks for 3 weeks. And the science said that as soon as everybody wears a mask, it's all just going to go bye-bye. But unfortunately, that's not what it says. They don't even have an end date in a lot of these liberal areas for when they're going to end the mask date. They have no date, no metrics, no, real exact number that they're looking for, because it's not really based on that. They use politics and scream science and ignore and censor any science that goes against them, like the data of obesity. Have they done a data study? And this is called How to Lie with Statistics, which is a Bill Gates recommended book, which is a great book. If you haven't read it, it's thin. I don't like to read long books. I like them short books, like Where's Waldo? It makes me feel smart. Found them. 30 minutes, I'm done with the whole book. How to Lie with Statistics, thin book. It tells you in there exactly how to do it. So how they're lying with statistics now is they say, well, here's the data on the masks, or they just don't even tell you the data about the masks. Okay, take the data of the greatest study they could find for how effective masks are, and it's not even that big of a number. Take that percentage, whatever it is, 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%, slow spread, whatever they claim it is, which it's really not. If you look at Texas and Florida and you put them against some of these other blue states, I don't see the correlation at all. But anyway, even if that is, are they also showing you the data of suicides from people who are depressed because they can't see people smile? Are they showing you the data of the millions of deaf people suffering because they can't hear and they usually go off of people's lips and they can't read people's lips? Deaf people are getting abused in this country right now, and nobody cares about the deaf people. Are they doing the data of, like Fauci said back in 2020, he talked about the data of, well, you fiddle and play with your mask. He said, this is not my words. He said, at the height of a pandemic, it's not really worth it because there's pros and cons and it, really outweighs each other. That's Fauci said that. Now you can't even say that he said that and they'll try to censor you. But there are cons, especially with the children who are notorious for picking up, putting up, licking stuff. You don't want to put masks on children like that. The amount of dirt and filth on their masks probably outweighs the kids who have a clean mask because they're freaking 8 years old. It's like, how many kids are able to wear 8 hours a mask and have it be not dirty at all? I would guess a small percentage. So you get what I'm saying? How many people are suffering from obesity? How many people are depressed from all of these restrictions? And then how much is that weighing into the deaths by COVID? That's a real statistic, okay? Weigh everything, not just one small statistic, put a graph in front of your face and then, tell you that it's healthy. That's a fraud. So that's the type of stuff I'm saying. These are the discussions that are going to free the country, but Jim Jordan's not doing it. And DeSantis is not even doing it. He's doing a better job, but I see a picture of him today and he's at a school where all the kids are wearing masks. And I think masks are abusive. It's child abuse. It's physically, mentally, and psychologically abusive. And to any naysayers, I can prove it and I can debate it with data, with science, and with basic common sense of, just children and how they operate with something on their face for 8 hours and how clean it is. I can prove all that stuff, but everyone says, well, DeSantis is not forcing them to wear masks. You're right. He personally probably doesn't agree with it, but this just shows you how little Republicans are able to do in this country. It's like, the Republican slogan should be, we lose in slow motion. We're losing ground in slow motion with a cowboy hat on. Somebody can, copyright that and use that for your next campaign. Losing in slow motion, but with a cowboy hat on, so you feel like you're not. That's all they're doing. So even though he's not forcing them to wear masks, he's at a school where I guarantee you the school is forcing them to wear masks because the average child is not going to want to wear a mask for 8 hours. So, what does that say if he's the governor making all these rules, but none of the corporations and most of the schools aren't listening to him? And he sits there and takes pictures proudly with a bunch of kids who are being abused with masks on. It means he doesn't really care and he's just going for a photo op. And it just shows you exactly like CPAC, which was the conservative event where they're talking about freedom and ending socialism while the country's in literally socialism with the trillions of dollars of loans that Trump signed off on. And while they're having a mask mandate in Florida. Florida's free, but I guess we can't find a free venue because we're going to go to the Marriott or wherever they went, some sort of hotel. This just shows how, useless the Republican Party is. Jim Jordan and DeSantis is the best we have, and they're not even getting close to deep enough to actually reverse this stuff. They're just playing along. They're losing in slow motion with a cowboy hat on or without a cowboy hat on. It's like just making you feel like losing slowly is going to somehow help us. And I wish it would. I wish I was just being annoying. And it's like, oh, Anomaly, shut up. There's a reason why we are where we are. And I'm not trying to hate on everybody's heroes, but Ronald Reagan was before my time. Was he a good actor? Of course. Was he, a nice politician? For sure. Was he better than some Democrats? Debatable. But if you look at two things that Ronald Reagan did, you could argue that these were more damaging to the conservative party than any Democrat. And I'm going to name those two. The mass amnesty, which even, Tucker Carlson admitted last night, and most people know, it's one of the reasons that California is not red and probably never will be again unless we can win the special election because of Reagan, not because of a Democrat. It was Reagan who signed mass amnesty and gave citizenship to millions of people who don't vote Republican, and they never will, or at least it's going to take a lot more than it would have 30 years ago. So he did mass amnesty, which is one of the most damaging things to the Republican Party. And he did the NCVIA, the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act, which was the precursor to the PrEP Act, which was the precursor of these vaccine companies getting more power, more money, shielded from liability. And in many ways, it was the precursor to this entire pandemic where these people are running the show unchecked and you can't say or do anything about it. So, when I see a lot of Trump supporters who I really love and appreciate, I'm not knocking you or anything, and I'm not acting like I'm not a conservative. Like, I vote Republican. I'm a registered Republican right now, and I'll continue to vote conservative because the Democrats can't do anything for me. But the point I'm getting to is I see a lot of people say, Reagan was the best president before Trump. It's like, this is why we lose. The best president we had gave up more ground than most Democrats in two of the most serious areas, medical freedom and, demographics / amnesty. That's Trump's biggest thing, right? He's like, build a wall. But then he's willing to do amnesty just like Reagan. It's a nice thing to do. I appreciate it. But as far as if you want to conserve your power as a party and then conserve any freedom you have, that's not the way to do it. And it's the same with Trump. 3 years, he's crushing it. And then he turns out to be, or at least part of, or, at best, unable to stop. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, just unable to do anything about it. He ends up losing more freedom in his term. Let's pretend like he has nothing to do with it. Still, in his term, he lost more freedom than Bush, Obama, and Clinton combined. That's just a fact. I mean, we lost more ground, more leverage, more freedom, more rights, more autonomous, whatever you want to say as a human being, to walk around, to breathe air, to do anything, than we've ever lost in our life under Trump. So when I say this stuff, it's not to be mean. It's not to hurt people's feelings. But, at a certain point, you guys got to wake up to this, because there's a reason that the country is where it is. And it's not just the Democratic Party. It's like as useless as a Dan Bongino, Geraldo Rivera debate. Everyone's like, oh my God, Dan Bongino. It's all theater, folks. It's like, first of all, I don't use controlled opposition very often because I think it's overused, and you never know who's who. Some people just agree with you, disagree. It's okay. Geraldo Rivera is as controlled opposition as it can get. That guy's been around for 15 years on Fox News, just arguing with Michelle Malkin, trying to give, I saw an old clip of him where he was like akinning her to like, I don't want to quote it falsely, but like smearing her as like this wicked person for simply wanting to enforce legal immigration like 15 years ago, Geraldo. So it's like he's been just on there to agitate and irritate and push the agenda that's going to hurt you. But he's Dan Bongino, oh, fight me. It's like, oh, that's so cool. It's all just show. That none of them are doing anything. It's just theater to make you feel like, someone's winning on Fox News, raising your tension, fighting about something that has nothing to do with the pandemic and the lockdowns and, other stuff. But I get it. Overall, though, that's my message for the day. I'm gonna answer some questions, probably take off in a little bit. I have my buddy here, but that's it. I think Jim Jordan is a standout Republican. I think Ron DeSantis is clearly a standout Republican against medical tyranny, but it's like the best Republican of 2021 is like worse than a Republican of like 2017. We're only losing ground, and people got to figure it out. And I can't do everything. I'm doing as much as I possibly can as one person in my community with my job. But all I ask is, if people don't want to do anything about it, that's fine. But the least you could do, like I see some people argue with me all the time. I don't mind a debate. I don't mind a conversation. That's not what it is. But if I'm going to go the distance and you don't want to, just stay out of my way. That's all I ask. Okay. Like there's like Republican 60-year-old men. They're like, well, no, you don't say that. It's like, dude, you blew it for 30 generations. You guys have been ignoring what they're doing to babies for generations. If you look at what they do to a baby, not to get graphic, when a baby's born, they're injecting it with more and more shots than they used to. And then a lot of times they chop the dick off, a part of it. And then they use it for skin serum for celebrities. You think I'm joking? It sounds disgusting. It's not a theory. It's mainstream news. And everything I just said, I could back it up. So you guys have been abusing children for decades now, not doing anything about anything, not conserving a single thing. I'm half the age of people. And it's not an ageism thing. I don't care if you're 20 or 60. It's like you already blew it for the country. So if I'm going to actually go the distance and go harder than Jim Jordan and harder than Ron DeSantis and harder than Trump, the least you can do is just shut your mouth and stay out of my way, because I'm not stopping. I'm not slowing down. I'm not afraid. I'm not bowing down. I'm not going to worship these false idol politicians who are putting on a theater show while they lose the country. Under Trump, socialism happened and medical tyranny happened. He signed off on $1 trillion socialist bills. How are you going to fight socialism with Charlie Kirk if they're doing socialism? How come nobody says anything? Because they don't care. They're conserving their power. They're conserving their media company. They're conserving their donor money. They're conserving their image as a freedom fighter. But it's all fake because they can't conserve anything. And then when socialism happens and when medical tyranny happens, they all just clap like seals because they just want to be, go to Mar-a-Lago or something and get laid, or I don't know, get some in with the Republican Party or whatever. They don't care. Operation Warp Speed's a huge success. Oh my God, Trump. It's like, no, it wasn't a huge success. It was a huge betrayal. And it's not because I'm anti-vaccine. I'm just pro-freedom. And unfortunately, when they developed these mRNA vaccines and the Johnson & Johnson one, it wasn't like, hey, we're just going to rush these out and give it to whoever and you could just live your life. That was not the deal. It was like, we're going to lock you in your house. We're going to treat you like an animal. We're going to treat you like a slave. We're going to increase censorship. We're going to shut down your gym. We're going to shut down travel. We're going to make it impossible to go to islands. We're going to shut down cruises. We're going to take everything away from you. We're going to fear for a year. And then we're going to let you out like a caged animal and say, now you can go get your shot and be free. And then everybody gets their shot and they said, oh, you got your shot? get 2 shots. Oh, you got the 2 shots? Wait, actually, you're not free. CDC recommendations say wait till July. Maybe you could have a barbecue with your family. I don't know. And now they're saying maybe there's a 3rd shot. The science is settled, folks. You can't question science. It's settled. It's so settled that they don't even know how many doses you're going to take because they're putting out articles yesterday. It says maybe you need a 3rd dose. Maybe in a year. Maybe I don't know. We'll figure it out. But, even though we're pretty much admitting that we don't know, we do know, and the science is settled, and you can't even tell the truth about what they are and how they're being operated. You can't even quote the FDA fact sheet. I'm not out here quoting conspiracy news. I'm just showing you the FDA fact sheet. You guys are the FDA. I'm showing your fact sheet. Jen Psaki says it's this. It's not. It's emergency use authorized. That's just what it is. I don't make the rules. If it were up to me, I'd have a different name. I'd call them like, fairy dust level 5 or something. I don't know. Not really, but it's like I don't run the FDA. And then they penalize me and try to smear me for just reporting on it. Anomaly did the Johnson & Johnson, the #1 post on Facebook. Well, thank you for the celebration, Miles, whatever his name is. Not Miles Davis, classic. But, it's like, it's like, yeah, bro, I'm sorry. I got more than Fox News. I'm sorry I got more. Why is it? Because nobody likes you. Why do you have more corporate power than me? Why are you friends with some of the most powerful politicians and most powerful corporations on the planet? Why do you have a bigger budget than me? Why are you taking money from Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation? How come you got all this flowing money in the Knight Foundation? You name it, they're all getting it. How come you have all that? And I'm just here sitting here crushing you. Instead of like smearing me, why don't you just sit down and study my tapes like an NBA player when you play the opponent? You're like, you got to watch out for Blake Griffin. He's a good dunker. You got to watch out for Damian Lillard, and Steph Curry. They hit those long threes, so you're going to want to play deep. That's what you should be doing. Study my videos because I'm everything you could never be. Good, honest, accurate, and confident enough in my soul to open my eyes in my profile picture so people can see my soul through my eyes. Unlike you who's closing them with a cheesy face like, I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself. We know, bro. And it's not hard to figure out why. So God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. That's my message. I want the country to flourish and prosper. I want people to be safe. And at a certain point, that we're going to be left with 2 options. And I think it's already getting to that point. It's like good and evil, right and wrong. And eventually, either we're going to have a political party and a leader who does what's right, regardless of the consequences, rather than just loses in slow motion with a cowboy hat on. That's the Republican Party. I love it. I might make a shirt with that. Republican Party loses in slow motion, but with a cowboy hat on. So you feel, you got a picture of Reagan. He's like, howdy, partner. I'm going to pass the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act, and I'm going to do mass amnesty so California turns blue forever. It's like, cool. I appreciate everything else you did. But at the same time, it's like that mistake alone, probably cost not only California, but the entire country, considering how many electorates are there. So I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like Jim Jordan with a face diaper on, giving Fauci the moral high ground, not going to cut it. Ron DeSantis, showing off and promoting kids at a school being forced to wear a mask. It's not cool. It's not cool. This is like we have such low bar. If I were to tell you 3 years ago that this was happening, you would never believe me and be disgusted. But they incrementally do it to the point where your idol is somebody who's Operation Warp Speeding Moderna and Pfizer vaccines. Trump is like a vaccine salesman. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's like he only seems to use his platform every now and then to brag about rushing them through FDA approval. Without me, it would have taken 4 or 5 years, said Trump. If that's the case, you betrayed me, because I would not mind it taking 4 to 5 years, because that's okay. Limericks, look at the history of Limericks. Look at the history of any of these vaccinations. Most of them for FDA approval take 4 to 5 years, and that's okay. If you want to emergency authorize it, that's on you. But if you're going to brag about it like it's your shining accomplishment, to me, that's massive betrayal, because now they're being, completely forced down our throat, used against us and used to censor us. And he's nowhere to be found in the fight against vaccine passports. He doesn't care. He's a selfish person or a phony or somebody that needs to be told no. And that's a lot of these liberal journalists too. They need to be told no. Don't be afraid to do the right thing. Be afraid to do the wrong thing. If anything, don't be afraid. But it's like everybody's afraid to do the right thing. It's like you should be more afraid to do the wrong thing, including myself. But that's what I think. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Someone said, take that shitty jersey off. I hear you. I mean, I don't have to explain myself, but I got this. I was there on Shaquille O'Neal Day like a couple of years ago, and they gave me this free jersey. It's like a cheap one because it was a free one. They gave it to me in the box seat. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to go out and buy NBA gear, but I'm not going to throw this out. I'm like a thrifty guy. I like this because I like no sleeves. I like to work out, and I like to work out with no sleeves. So you get what I'm saying? It's like I'm not going to just throw this out and burn it just because I like Shaquille O'Neal. It fits nice. That's what it is. I've had it for a while. It's fading. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a crappy shirt, but whatever. I'm not the most fashionable person on Facebook. I don't really care. I just like to work out. I'm getting too jacked for the gulag. Let's see what we got. Someone said MSM. And yeah, I got to look at the back of Facebook, but it looks like they gave me my stars back. I'm just going to do it real quick. Sorry, real quick. I got to see what's going on because literally it looks like they gave me back my monetization, which is shocking. I mean, it's like, how long are these people going to lie? Eventually they're going to just feel bad like Naomi Wolf and just start telling the truth. Let's see. Monetization. No, it's still restricted. I don't know. Let me see. Restricted. No ads are being shown in your videos. You've lost the ability to gain new fans. Let me see. Okay, 7 days. If you have another community standards violation within 90 days, you'll lose these features. Okay, I don't know what they're doing. They're threatening me for 7 days. If I do it again, 30 days, whatever. I don't even care. Take all my money, Facebook. Don't take my money. I would appreciate it, but I'm not, you can't pressure me. These other people, they just take grants and grants. And by the way, when they take a grant, what do you think a big foundation that gives you a grant? If someone were to say, Anomaly, I like you, maybe they just really like me. But with NPR and stuff, they give these people grants and then they give them money. And then when they give them money, they're controllable. It's like, here's $15 million for, vaccine education. Okay, so how easy will it be then to do a critical piece on something that's accurate and honest, questioning both sides of that debate? It's impossible because, these people are paid off or, have financial incentive not to do it, but whatever. Someone said, Anomaly will feed you a beef sandwich. I don't know what that means, but okay. Let's see. Someone said, find another platform. Well, for people who are here, I have other platforms. I'm on BitChute, 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 BitChute.com/. I'm on Instagram, Instagram.com/DreamRare. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I'm all over the place. I'm not going to be easy to, deplatform. So they can't really do it though. I'm not a legal to sue. It's annoying. And I don't even care about that article. I mean, if I feel like it, but in general, I feel like I embarrass them. I don't like who even reads that article. Like people who listen to it, no, they know me already. It's like I have a reputation already at this point where like people know my work. So I have people that listen to NPR and they're like, dude, I didn't even know they were talking about you. Like this is not, you don't want to play this game, NPR. I don't want to play this game. I just want to be left alone. I don't want any more attention. People are now saying to me, oh, Anomaly, you almost made it. I'm like, I almost made it. I already made it, but it's not like me. I don't need more attention. I don't need anything else. Every time I go out, people recognize me everywhere I go, which is great because it's always all love. But in general, what more could I possibly want? I literally just want to be left alone. I want to live on an island, but I can't even get to the island because they're trying to quarantine me and force a PCR test up my nose. So that's the reason that people are like, Anomaly, you changed. One, I always grow and evolve as a person, but two, I'm not a pushover. And this is not a time to be soft when your country's being conquered and when your freedom is being ripped away from you. And when they're hurting kids and hurting elderly people, I'm not a pushover. So, I want to be left alone. They won't leave me alone. Now we have a problem. Here we are, life is good. Canadian David, thank you. Appreciate you. Let's read some comments on, yeah, I have a Rumble too, but Rumble always glitches when I try to upload it. So BitChute, they did a cool thing where like every time I upload it to YouTube, they upload it to BitChute. So all my stuff's on BitChute. It's archived. If you want, feel free to download all my videos. You could download my videos. You could upload my videos. I don't care. People take my videos on Instagram all the time. I'm not doing copyright violations. I don't care. Take it. It's about the message. If you want to take it, that's fine. All right. Oh, that's why people are saying beef sandwich. All right, dude, you got to calm down. You're like, I don't care what you're saying, but you're just spamming. So, all right. Put this user in timeout. Someone said, Anomaly bro, talk to the Muslim skeptic on YouTube. Never heard of him, but I'll check it out. All right, we'll read a few more and then I'll take off. I muted Beef Sandwich. I'm sorry about that on YouTube. He's just spamming. Is that the Puerto Rican flag? Shout out Puerto Rico. You know I got love for you guys. Someone said it looks like Facebook is letting you get stars. Yeah, I guess stars are available. Maybe ads are unavailable. And I'm reading it right now. It says I have a 7-day ban for most monetization. They've frozen my fan subscriptions, but it's not deleted. And it says if I violate another offense, they're going to take it away for 30 days. If Facebook's watching this, or Chelsea Clinton's watching this, or Miles from NPR is watching this, I don't know who's monitoring my thing from Facebook or whatever, but I just want to be left alone. You guys took away whatever you're taking. I don't know what you're doing, but you're restricting me or whatever you're doing because I told the truth. I have proof. I have it all on video. Everyone sees it. You're not, I don't know what's going on here, but it's like, how many times are you going to do this? I don't know. If I make a mistake, that's fine. If you're making a mistake, they know this though. If you want to know the process, you guys know, because on Facebook, I've seen people banned for like posting dog pictures and stuff and just like the most basic things. But the last 5 times they've restricted my posts, they've all been accurate. And when I used to have at Facebook, like someone I could message, a partner helper or something, they disappeared or whatever. They don't want to help me anymore. But I would say, hey, you guys made a mistake on your fact check. Do you mind taking it off? And the Facebook people would say, oh, Anomaly, no, it's not us. It's the fact checkers. It's a third party. It's not a Facebook. And I'm like, it's your website. It's facebook.com. What do you the fact checkers run the show now? So then I email the fact checkers and I say, hey, you made a mistake. You're libeling me and defaming me on my own post. And you're not even right about what you're fact checking. You're wrong. And they would say, oh, it's not a big violation. It's just a little one. It doesn't mean mostly false. It's partially false. Dude, I don't care. I don't make posts so you idiots can just write on top of it. No one wants to read your crap. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like me having like a rap concert and someone coming on stage and just grabbing my microphone and being like, la, 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 la. It's like, dude, no one wants to hear your music. No one wants to hear you talk. I get it. You have your little thing at NPR. Miles, whatever, has all these industry connections, has like 500 followers on Instagram. His own friends don't even like him. So it's like, you have your thing. Knock yourself out, bro. I didn't even know who you were 2 days ago. But then they come on my court with my microphone in my arena, and then they try to take what's mine. And it's like, these people have to stop. So that's what it is. But it's like, they like supersede my video. Like, this is what we think. We know what you think. You suck. That's why I'm even here in the first place, because you're so bad at your job. I looked at what you guys do and I said, I could do that, but better. And I did. And I succeeded. And I'm crushing all of you. So that's the whole thing. It's like, I didn't want to be here. You think I wanted to be a news host or a news analyst? No, I just looked at the news in 2016. And I thought, this is evil. This is bad. This is fear-based. This is dividing people. Even the political takes I agreed with were just bad energy. Everybody's yelling at each other like Geraldo and Dan Bongino. And I was tired of it. So I said, you know what? I could probably do a better job. And I did. So that's the whole, it's like, if you guys didn't suck, I wouldn't even be here. So these people just never stop, but I don't care. They only inspire me. Bro, who's this guy spamming? Just stop, bro. It's like, why? What's the point? All right. A few more and then we'll roll out. Thank you, Marla. I always appreciate you. Thank you guys on YouTube. Let me see if now you guys got the stars. Let me see if I can read some of the top star senders. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Kamel. She said, my boss required a written reason for me not getting the job. I handed him 20 pages of scientific data and said, I don't want to. Brilliant. Thank you, Cassidy. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Murray. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Pamela. I see all of you and I appreciate you. And that's the thing. I actually have a website and it's just filled with other links. It's not even like any of my own information. But if you guys are being bullied, I've never told anybody to get it. I've never told anybody not to get it. It's not my job. I don't care what people do specifically, but I do care when it infringes upon my lifestyle and my rights as far as like what I can and can't do as a healthy person. And you got people who are just like disgustingly unhealthy, and I don't care that they are, but it's like, I got my second dose of Moderna. It's like, cool, you're still at risk for 50 other things, so don't treat me like an idiot. But in general, anyway, it's like I have a website, exposelockdowns.com. Go to exposelockdowns.com, and I have the FDA fact sheets. This is not a conspiracy website. This is a website where you can go if you're getting bullied by your employer and they're telling you, asking for a reason why you're rejecting their, demands of what to do. I have all 3 FDA fact sheets. I have, CNN, mainstream news, all made 4 accounts just to say the same thing. In general, it's like, I'm not even upset with you, but like, dude, like, don't, do you have anything else to do? Like play a sport or work out or just like, have a good day or something? Someone said, I'll be a mod. I don't have mod. I'm a one-man army at this point. So what do I think about the Afghanistan pullout? I mean, I think it would probably be a good idea after like 10 years of doing nothing. But in general, yeah, I don't know. I'm skeptical. Like, how many times has Biden said he's going to pull out? Trump said it. Everyone tries to do it, and then something happens. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But to me, actions speak louder than words. So I just don't believe a politician when they say something. But also, it's like all these things are coming out now. After 15 years of the Afghanistan war, oh, we're going to end it now. After, all this stuff of like, never talk about UFOs. Now they're like, oh, there's UFOs. To me, it seems like a distraction. Obviously, I've always been, anti-Middle Eastern war. I think they've been largely fraudulent and counterproductive, like a lot of people. But, it's like, why now? And I'm not mad at now, but it's like our country's being beaten into the ground. Our country's being economically, physically, psychologically, mentally just completely obliterated. And it's not a theory. It's just like, look at what's going on. Our country's a shell of what it once was. We're destroying everything that was good about America, everything that made it enjoyable, every activity, every sport, every event, every concert that made it somewhat likable and made life, worth it. They're taking all that away. And now all of a sudden they want to talk about UFOs and do other stuff. I'm just not buying it, but, to each their own. Becky LaRue said, anomaly, check out 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 sometimes. Thank you for speaking out. Appreciate you. Let me see if I can find the other super chat. Thank you, Char's Wellness. I'm sorry if I missed some. So it said, why do you think people are so angry at people who don't want to get the jab? Well, I feel like they're just being mind controlled ask these people, what's the data? What's the science? What's the, what is it? They just know things. If everyone doesn't get it, I'm at risk. We need to reach herd immunity, and that's the way. But if you really listen to these people, they tell, what's the percent? Like Jordan asked Fauci, like, what percentage do you want vaccinated? And then you'll do what? They're winging it to the point where they can't even tell you with a straight face with 100% certainty how many jabs you have to get over your lifetime. Is it every year? Is it every 2 years? Is it every 6 months? Do they want you to have 40, Moderna injections by the time you're 80? They're not even sure yet because it's emergency use authorized, and it's one of the, fastest to market vaccines, or the fastest in modern history. So, I mean, the left is just brainwashed. And, that's where when people say to me, like 600,000 people have died, you're so bad. It's like, listen, of those, how many died from COVID? How many died with COVID? How many were obese? How many were elderly? How many of those were exacerbated because people were being treated like crap? So it's like, you get what I'm saying? It's like, I don't submit to this idea that's why. What about all the people who have gained weight, all the people who have been psychologically abused, the stress, all of this stuff adds to that count, but they're not going to tell you that. They're not, they're just acting like it's just this. It's not all these other stuff that they're implementing. So, it's sick what they're doing, but you guys get it. Someone said boosters every year. So yeah, I mean, the people who are following that stuff, it's sad. I feel bad for them, but I don't know. And I have a lot of like health people, and I don't care, I don't care how much people take care of themselves. It doesn't mind me, but I'm not going to be bullied by anybody. I'm not a bully. I'm not going to be bullied. I don't walk around and make fun of people. I don't care. I like you for who you are. I like you for your soul. everybody's different. I like people not because of how much they weigh or how much they work out. That's not how I value a human being. But at the same time, as somebody who's healthy, as somebody who hasn't been sick in 3-4 years, as someone who took care of themselves, as somebody who looked at their diet and looked at their lifestyle and said, I need to make changes. And I did make changes. And those changes helped me be way healthier than I've ever been. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm more successful than I've ever been. I'm working out more than I ever have. So I'm not going to be treated terribly by somebody that's morbidly obese that's going to act like I'm a problem. No offense, but I don't care how much Fauci lies to you and how much Facebook lies to you. Me, without a jab, is still in better condition than someone my age that's 350 pounds with 2 doses of Moderna. That's not real science. You're still at risk for this. You're still at risk for this. You're still at risk for this. And if you even read the articles on the jabs, you still might be at risk to get or transmit COVID-19 itself. That's why they won't let you free, because they're still studying the data and they're not even sure when you need another dose or how long it lasts. This is all things that they're trying to figure out. So I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to bully someone else. But if someone comes up to me with fake science and acts like I'm the big problem because I'm healthy and I'm happy and I haven't been sick in 3 years, treat me like I'm a disease when they themselves are at risk for like 100 different things because they don't take care of themselves mentally, physically, or psychologically, this is not a narrative I'm ever going to bow down to. And no one really should, regardless of how much you weigh, regardless of how much you take care of yourself. It's not real. But especially, I can only speak for myself, and I refuse to be bullied. It's like they're zooming in on certain graphs and they're ignoring all these other graphs. They don't have any graphs and any studies for the public that they're showing you. I mean, they do have them and they're on government websites in some extent, but they're not really broadcasting these on the news, all of the negative effects to masks. And they did one recently where they showed you the psychological and mental abuse on it. If you want to do it, you weigh out the pros. What are the pros of blocking droplets? What are the cons of it being dirty? What are the pros of, slowing the spread? What are the cons of the psychological abuse and the physical abuse and the kids when they're fiddling? They're not showing you all those other graphs. There's 100 graphs they could show you. This is the negative. This is a 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 negative. This is going to affect 10 million people. This is going to affect 1 billion people negatively. There's an environmental cost to it. There's billions of these masks that are now, going into the ocean and they're going all over the place. This is an environmental disaster, but no environmentalists care about it because most environmentalists are liberal and most liberals are brainwashed by what they're saying, and also the climate change narrative. And I'm not saying the climate doesn't changing, but I'm saying they have them so zoomed in on that they're not talking about cleaning the air, cleaning the ocean. Los Angeles has dirty streets. If you're an environmentalist, clean your own environment. Los Angeles doesn't even have clean oceans. If you want to clean the world, you have to clean your own ocean. They don't even care. They're so brainwashed. They don't even care about the fundamental values of what environmentalism used to be 40 years ago. So there's massive costs environmentally, massive costs physically, massive costs mentally, and massive costs psychologically. And I can make 300 graphs and I can show you all those graphs of all the damage they're doing to hundreds of millions of people, to millions of ocean life, to dolphins, to turtles, and all that, everything negative they're doing. And then I can show you the graph of where, it says it's a little bit better to wear a mask and you can maybe slow down the spread a little bit. And then you can look at it and say, you know what, the cons outweigh the pros. But they're not doing that. They're censoring anybody, including DeSantis, for mentioning stuff like that, or at least weighing in on the fact it's not healthy. What they're doing is not healthy. Facebook, I hope you guys are watching. I hope you guys are listening. I hope you have a soul. I hope you actually care, because you're hurting people. You're hurting children. You're hurting elderly. You're hurting people. And you should feel ashamed of yourself. And that's exactly what I said to the OC board. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're hurting people. And you're lying about it. So you think there's not an effect when most of the hospitalizations are obesity? Most of the deaths are in obese country. This is mainstream news. And by your practices, closing down sports, closing down health facilities, closing down gyms, closing down businesses, closing down social interaction, closing down events, making people physically, mentally, and psychologically less healthy. You think that doesn't have a negative impact on the world? Blood is on your hands, Fauci. Blood is on your hands, mainstream media. Blood is on your hands, Facebook, not mine, your hands. You're hurting people in every way, in so many ways. And if I had the time, I'd make 1,000 graphs of all the ways you're hurting people. And you could have your 5 graphs of how you think you're helping. And we could weigh it out. But you guys don't want to do real science. You just want to continue to hurt and hurt and hurt and hurt and hurt people. And you should be ashamed of yourself. So that's what I would say if I was Jim Jordan. Not, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, Fauci, you're the best. And I just want the First Amendment. No. He's not a good person. He's not helping public health. He's not saving lives. Look at all the other data that they're not ignoring. It's sick what they're doing. And I don't care what they take. I don't care how much they censor. I don't care, because I will never be a slave. I will never be a prisoner, and I will never be abused by these people. They're trying, but I'm not going to let them. I'm going to keep working out. I'm going to keep having a good day. I'm going to keep going to businesses that don't treat me like an animal. I'm going to keep rewarding people that are nice to me and, not being bullied by people who are rude. And hopefully one day, if enough people do that, we can get back to a healthy, prosperous society that's actually healthy, because damaging and destroying the world and destroying our country and destroying public health in the name of public health is a complete mockery of what the word actually means. And I'm just going to read real quick. This is a CNN headline, and they're going to act like, Anomaly told the truth, but when he tells the truth about the truth, we don't want him to tell the truth because our experts say it's not true, and our information expert at UCLA says it can confuse people when we lie to them all the time, and somebody outperforms us with the truth and actually says facts and data. So this is a CNN headline. They said the pandemic has given us a trial run, and it says, in the end, everything's about equity. Experts say the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us hard lessons that the countries can use to tackle another major crisis, climate change. And they've already put out articles in Forbes talking about climate lockdown. So it's about public health until it's about climate. It's about public health until it's about packing the Supreme Court. So there is no conspiracy theory. Oh, he's a known conspiracy theorist. Oh, no, a conspiracy theorist is at the top of the thing. No, I'm reading your own articles. The article I wrote, I posted was CNN. The article I'm reading now is CNN. If it's about public health, what does climate change have to do with public health? Well, now racism is a bigger problem than COVID-19. So now we have to do, they're never going to stop. These people are psychopaths, and they need to be told no. And I will publicly shame them. I don't care what it costs, and I don't care how much it takes. You guys should be ashamed of yourself. Ashamed. Your soul is damaged. You hate yourself so much you can't even open your eyes in your own profile picture because you're a fraud. You're a phony. You're a coward. You're a con artist, and you're damaging children, damaging elderly people, and hurting the world with your shitty reporting and your shitty energy that you're expelling to everybody, and trying to take down people and hurt people who are actually nice and kind-hearted and thoughtful and care about deaf people who can't read people's lips, and care about elderly people who can't afford to sit around for 4 months, because once you sit around for 4 months and you're 80 years old, you're not going to be able to keep going again. It's like a car in the winter. You got to keep it moving. That's like a human body. So they're hurting people. They're killing people. And I will never give them the moral high ground because they don't deserve it until they stop hurting people with this BS, narrative that they're trying to push. So I don't care what it costs. I don't care what it takes. I will never bow down to these people. It's not in my DNA. It's not in my blood. And once again, folks, there is no reward for cowardice, and there is no reward for playing it safe. In your own personal life, for sure. If you need a job, if you need money, you don't have to start a YouTube channel or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not even saying that. But as far as I talk to people out and they say, hey, my buddy's going to do it because I need to travel. He says, I'm doing it because I need to travel. You think I don't need to travel? I need to travel too. Everyone wants to travel. Most people do. But you think doing what they say is going to let you do that. And then you do what they say and they take more. And you do what they say. And that's the whole scheme, is the more you give, the more they take. The more you give in, they move the goalposts. So you giving in to get what you need is not helping you. It's not in the end going to help your family. And it's not helping the country be free. That's the whole game. But everybody wants to play it safe. I'm sorry, but there isn't a reward for that. Like people always say, aren't you afraid of telling the truth? Aren't you afraid of being that honest? No, when I'm most afraid is when I mess up and when I do something wrong. And that's how everybody should feel. You should feel bad when you do something wrong, not when you do something right. They're trying to make people even on the right and even on the right side of history, regardless of politics, be ashamed of doing the right thing and feel comfortable doing the wrong thing. And that's part of the scheme. They scare you and make everyone afraid. And when you're afraid, you don't do anything. And then they got you afraid to do the right thing and comfortable doing the wrong thing. And that's the whole problem with our country. And then when someone does the right thing, regardless of left and right, whatever, black and white, then all of a sudden everybody comes out of both sides. Oh, don't bother me because I watch CNN. Who cares? They're liars. Oh, well, I like Trump and I like Reagan. I don't care. I don't care if you like Trump. I don't care if you like Reagan. The truth is the truth. And that's just what it is. It's like, okay. It's like people are more concerned with being a PR team for evil. Well, I liked Obama. Okay. So you liked Obama, so you ignore what happened in Libya? because you like Obama, you love black people, but you don't care about human slavery in Libya because you like Obama, then you don't care. Then you're a fraud. Then you're worshiping a politician instead of actually having like a soul. Like someone like a Glenn Greenwald or a Naomi Wolf. They're liberals, Russell Brand. They're liberals, they're progressive, but they have a soul, so I can get along with them. We might have different tax beliefs, but they have a soul. So, and it's the same with the right. It's like, who cares how much you like the person? If they're not getting the job done, they're not getting the job done. If they can't get the job done, they can't get the job done. Spend more energy doing something about it, or having your voice heard in some way, or at least just leave me alone, rather than always just, oh, but you don't understand, man, with Trump and Ray. It's like you spend more time making excuses for things they didn't do instead of trying to figure out how to get the party to do them. So I'm pointing out the issues, not to be like, oh, who do you like? I don't know. From Reagan to Trump, is the country way more free? No, we've gotten less free. And even from Reagan to Trump, we are now less free than we've probably ever been since God knows what year. So it's not like I'm trying to be a hipster and be like, oh, it's like, it's not working. It's not working. So I want it to work. Either just give up, which I'm not a quitter, or stay out of my way, because I'm not going to bow down to this. Like, well, DeSantis is doing, it's like, cool. He's doing his best. Okay. Or you think he's doing his best, but as a citizen, it's not working. So if enough citizens said no and actually demanded something of their constituents, we might get something done. But everybody just wants to go to Mar-a-Lago, go to CPAC, put on their little face diaper, yell at Fauci with a poo-poo mask on, and everyone claps like seals when they're really not doing anything. But whatever. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but that's what it is, folks. I'm going to take off. God bless you guys. God bless your family. Someone says, should Officer Potter be charged with manslaughter? That one went over my head, and I'll just say this real quick before I leave. It's not that I don't care, because obviously every issue is big, but I'm not feeding into the narrative of the media. There's 10,000 journalists on the left and the right. They're all weighing in on this stuff. When someone murders 5 people, if they're not black, nobody cares. If this happens and they do this, an NBA player or an NFL player recently killed like 5 people. I don't even know what race that he killed, if they were black, white, family members. I'm not even sure. But to me, a human life, it's tragic regardless. I don't think anybody innocent deserves to die. But the media only cares when they know it's a divisive topic and they know that it's going to cause controversy. So, does she deserve to be charged? I'll leave it up to the courts. Did she mess up? It looks like it. Did he mess up? And did he do stuff beforehand? It looks like it. Does that give her the right to do it? Of course not. But, I don't, I'm not going to weigh in on this stuff and take 2 months, because that's the whole thing. Let's talk about George Floyd for 2 years. Let's talk about this for 2 years. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of people are getting murdered and nobody blinks an eye because it doesn't have this divisive narrative that's going to take people away, So people are going to weigh in on it. It's not my thing, because I'm focused on the lockdowns, and I'll do some other reporting about other stuff. But isn't it wild how for March to November, everyone told me, not everyone, but people were like, anomaly, Trump, just wait till the election. I don't care that much about the election, because Trump is a Moderna and a Pfizer salesman, and Biden will be a Moderna and Pfizer salesman. So now my options went from like freedom fighter, outsider, anti-establishment Trump to sell out puppet, Moderna salesman Trump. So I don't really even care that much about the election, because if he wins, hopefully he gets right and acts right. But if he loses, hopefully people wake up and get right. But anyway, no one wanted to talk about it for a year. Then the George Floyd riots came. Then the election narrative came. And then everyone's running in circles from November until January. And then everyone goes to January on the 6th, and everyone gets set up on the 6th, and everyone gets raided by the feds and interrogated and called criminals and terrorists on the 6th. And then people say March. And now Trump's just blasting emails, taking credit for FDA approval or non-FDA approval, the emergency. It's all, you get what I'm saying? Now we have this. Now we have the George Floyd trial. It's important to some context. It needs to go to court. But the fact that there's so many people on the right wing and the left wing that will spend months and months and months talking about these cases, but won't talk about what's affecting the entire planet economically, mentally, physically, psychologically, whether you're left or right, this pandemic is affecting everyone all the time in ways that are so severe. Every second, it's affecting more people than that event. Every time I snap my hands, there's dozens of people being affected, even worse than that, or at least just in bigger numbers, and no one wants to talk about it. So, that's how I feel about that. It's a sloppy situation, and, the left is going to use it for racial division. They're going to act like it's a race problem. I could make it a gender problem. I'm not going to, but I could say, we should really look at how well trained our police are, because, there's some women Some woman just hit me up on Instagram. She's like a pro racer. She's a better driver than me. But on average, if you look at NASCAR, most of the best drivers are men. That's just the fact. If you look at the NBA and the WNBA, which is a physical sport, men are better than women. It's just true. Take the best 10 men and the best 10 women, and the men are going to win by 100 points, and they could probably win in their sleep. So you get what I'm saying? So when it comes to the police, as much as they make it a race issue, I could say, how high are the standards? I see fat police officers all the time. It's like, shouldn't you be physically fit? And in general, for women, if men are better at physical sports and men are better on average at this type of stuff, are we lowering the bar to make it diverse, or should we raise the bar and make sure we have the best people? If a woman's the best, that's fine. But if they're not the best, this whole diversity thing, it's like, we're diverse. We're already a diverse country. They're just using it to be racist and take white people out of positions and place in, feminists or whatever race, regardless of how skilled they are or not. When it comes to United and pilots, they're trying to make half the pilots, people of color and women. I don't care what ethnicity or what gender the pilot is. I want the best pilot. And if most of the best pilots are white, that's fine. If most of the best pilots are Indian, that's fine. I don't want there to be some sort of racial narrative just to get people there that aren't qualified. I want the best police, the best schools, the best teachers, not, oh, let's crash some planes real quick so, we can feel good about ourselves. It's like, just get the best people. And if a lot of Black people want to be pilots, that's great. I hope they pass certification, and I hope they're the greatest pilot on the planet. But if you're going to lower the bar or kick people out of their position just to virtue signal about race, so the point I'm getting to is, just like they make it about race, I could make it about the gender of her, but I'm not going to, because it's an individual case. But I do think that there's something there with the weakening of society. And it's like the military thing. This is, I don't want to get into all the controversial topics in the world. That's a great way to get my video. No, I'm just kidding. But with the whole thing about the military, when Trump like banned transgender surgery in the military, and that was a huge thing. Oh my God, Trump banned transgender surgery in the military. That's so bad. You guys got to understand, I have long hair. I can't join the military with my long hair. It's not about me. Okay. The military is not about me. It's about protecting America. We're supposed to be about protecting America. So it's not like the real privilege is like people thinking it's all about them. Regardless of your gender, it's like, are you good for the military? I want long hair in the military. It's like, no, you deserve to kick me out. If I have a heart condition or my feet are flat, they don't have to have me in the military. And I like that rule because it's not about me. It's about how strong is our military to protect our country and keep us safe. So with oh my God, he hates transgenders with the surgery. You shouldn't be able to get surgery in the military, just like I shouldn't be able to have long hair in the military. If that's the rule, that's the rule. It's not all about me. So, people lose these narratives because they're always like, it's like such a joke of a world. So, that's my thoughts about everything. It's not discrimination. It's like, are we just degrading on every level? And do we care about anything anymore? When it comes to the police or the military, we need the best police, the most trained police. And honestly, we should have the most physically fit police. And if, someone jacked, like a woman that's strong and can pass the test, can do it, let her do it. If she's got great, hand coordination skills, but if they don't, then I don't think they should be in it, man or a woman. So I think we're lowering the bar to make everything equal. But there's a reason that things in some cases, like women will never be as good at the NBA unless you let transgenders play in the WNBA. Then all of a sudden it'll get a lot better because, biologically born men are going to destroy women, like the movie Joanna Man, which was like a funny movie that I liked when I was a kid. That's like science. That's real science. I'm not being hateful. The WNBA and the NBA, they're in a totally different capacity of how good they are at their sport. That's just real. So in general, they're never going to be equal. And that's not crazy. That's just how it is. So certain people gravitate towards certain position. Women, have babies and, so they might be more prone to be nurses because they like to take care of people. And that's okay. That's like how they feel. And that's fine. But there's also male nurses and that's okay too. But you don't need 50 male nurses and 50 women nurses. Who wants to do it? Who's the best at it? To try to make everything 50-50 is a total joke. So, with that case, I feel like it's just another police case to divide the country, to focus all the blame on something, and really to do what Tucker Carlson said they're doing. And that's why they hate him, which is this all-concerted effort to viciously hate one group of people politically, racially, socially, even if you fit the race that they say you are, if you don't fit their political narrative, then they hate you just as much as they hate me. They might hate you more than me if you're a Black conservative, because they feel even more emboldened to control you. With me, they're just like, first of all, they don't even know what race I am because I'm darker than half of them. So they're like, is he Spanish? Is he white? Is he Indian? They don't know what I am. But in general, it's like, they want to control you. So it's an all-on assault on a certain ethnicity, on a certain political view, and they're going to divide and then they're going to conquer. So I'm not getting too involved with this one because it is a sloppy situation, but the media controls what people care about the most. So there's a huge thing going on here that's this big and affecting this many people. They won't talk about it for a year. And then something that happens that deserves to be talked about, they'll talk about it for a year. So the media has the ability, like a magician, to choose the narrative. And then you have the left and the right fight over that narrative. I call it the controlled arena. They control the arena of what people talk about. And then they could just move it wherever they want. And you got your Dan Bonginos and you got your Joy Reids, and they argue, and your Geraldo Rivera's, and it's all fun and games. But I don't live in that world. So that's part of the control. When they put out Russiagate, I have a lot of energy today. I'm dropping gems. So before I leave, I'm gonna just spit them out rapid fire. With the Russia collusion, part of the illusion was not only that they, were entrapping Trump and making it harder to do things, but they controlled conservative media for 3 years. For 3 years, every day, conservatives were talking about what liberals wanted them to talk about. I weighed in on Russiagate or whatever 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, but I didn't talk about it 1,000 times or 50 times. But you go on Shapiro, you go here, every day, Russiagate. They let the left control what they talk about. It's like they control the arena. They put you on the defense. They stop you from pushing your narrative or your agenda, whatever it is politically, and just get you defending, get you distracted, and control the arena. Someone said Geraldo. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm part Spanish, but I'm mostly white. So sometimes I say Geraldo, sometimes I say Geraldo. It's like Chipotle. Some people say Chipotle. Just let me, sometimes I like mayonnaise, sometimes I don't. I like tacos. I like, potato salad. I like kielbasi. I like pierogies. I like chicken parmesan. You just got to roll with the punches with me. I'm not that great all the time at pronouncing other languages, but I'll do my best. God bless you guys. God bless your family. God bless America, and God bless the world. I appreciate you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much to everybody who started supporting on Patreon. Thank you to everybody who's buying hats and shirts and beanies at dreamrare.com. I appreciate it, and I especially appreciate it when they demonetize my page. They gave me my stars back, but I'm on the back end right now. It still says I'm restricted, so I guess for 7 days, they're going to take away my video ads and my ability to gain other stuff. And then they're going to threaten me with a 30-day thing. I'm not really sure, but I'm thrilled that they gave these back. I'm not quite sure how I got them or why, but I'm not going to complain. God is great. And, nothing is guaranteed. So I'm going to do my best and reach as many people as I can, and I will be prepared for whatever else. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate the support. And every time, they try to smear me or lie about me, I defend myself, and then millions of people defend me. And I'd rather have that. I don't want the money. I don't even really want the fame. I don't need any more attention. I don't want corporate deals. I like the fact that most of the time, when I go out, I meet people, good people, police officers, construction workers, just people just around town that actually like me and actually care about me. And that means the world to me. So there's not enough money or grant money like NPR is taking to, make me envy these losers. So pray for them, pray for me, pray for yourself and your family. Have a good day. And I'll be back soon. Appreciate y'all.